Regards to the Georgia Music Investment Act, I definitely have been following it. I really was all into it and had planned on attending the meeting, and I got asked to speak on a panel for the Technology Atlanta group. It was a big group or whatever, and it was over that topic, so I really dove into it. I decided to not go to the meeting after diving into it because in my mind, it actually wasn't for the music industry. It After reading it and looking at all the requirements and the hoops and the hoops of the hoops of the hoops that they make you jump through, I realized that it was really set up for the TV production companies. And when I met with the guys that kind of implemented it and I posed that question, they admitted that it really was for that. They just put it in the title, so it's really kind of deceptive in my mind. It's misleading. It's not the music industry, it's for film production. You get disqualified if you're recording more than one song. You get disqualified if your recording has obscenity in it. You get disqualified if it's not for film. It's literally for production companies. They created another budget so production companies can come here and do stuff for film. So it's not really music. Music is, when people think of music, they think of streaming, they think of artists, they think of concerts, they think of parties. This has nothing to do with that. It's just the music in its title. It's like the Housewives, nobody's married. They call it the Music Act, but it doesn't have nothing to do with the music industry. It's really for film and television. And I was like, originally the concept was, they were telling me that, hey, the same way they got a tax incentive for film and TV, we're gonna do that for the music industry. So people working on projects here in Georgia, they're gonna incentivize them to do their projects here in Atlanta. So I was all in, because that's how it was pitched, that it's a tax credit for the music industry, just like they got one for the film and TV. So I really was excited about it, but when I started reading the information, I've been doing this now for 23 years, and I was like, I always say about particular records, if I don't like them, they're good for somebody, it just wasn't made for me. When I read the bill, I said it wasn't made for the music industry. It's just in the title. The program is good and it works. You guys took a film industry that really wasn't existent and pushed it to #1. We have a multi-million-dollar or billion-dollar music industry that's already doing well that doesn't get any help, no incentives. So if you offered the same incentives that you do for film, hey, if you record your album in Georgia, if you mix your album in Georgia, if you master your album in Georgia, then you get some type of incentive. It's really not confusing. Create so much money, so you had to create another budget and call it something else, because why is it deceptive? And I was told that, hey, the people from the music industry just wanted to get the name and the title, because now that you have legislation with the name and the title, maybe you can come in a few years later and you're not starting from ground zero and you can evolve it to something else. But at this point, it literally is for film and TV production. It's for music in film and TV. It's not a music bill. Music is the #1 selling music. I remember when we were first starting and people were like, hey, you guys do a lot of rap and R&B and urban music. Why don't you guys go after the rock and the pop? And I would be like, why? The urban music is #1. The people that's buying it and streaming it is spending way more money. So while you over here chasing these other people, I'm happy in this vein. So Atlanta, our world is so happy because the film and TV is #1. The music industry has been #1 for probably about 20 years now. And there's no signs of letting up. Most of the time it's been cyclical. It started in New York, it went to LA, and it unparked in Atlanta and can't nobody get it back. So we're doing well in the music industry without any help. And my thing is, it's kind of like a child. If you had a kid that showed interest or was doing well in gymnastics, you would encourage them that behavior so they can be great. Atlanta is already #1 in music, and we're not getting any encouragement or any support. If we had the type of encouragement or programs like the film and TV had, we take over all the music industry, not just urban, rap, or pop music. Been #1 for urban and R&B is selling more records in rap than any genre across the board. So you have somebody going to the state saying that, hey, we're losing all of our artists. Well, what artists you talking about? Because Rick Ross live here, Usher live here, The Dream live here. Everybody got a place here, you know what I mean? So it's an interesting conversation. It's two conversations. And I'm trying to help with that. They said that they weren't able to find anyone like me to have a conversation They found me now, so we're having that conversation. So I'm sitting here like, we number one, what you complaining about? They're complaining about all of our artists are leaving Atlanta, but that ain't true. That's the country artists.
Right.
I don't believe that they're gonna amend this particular thing to do anything for the music industry. It won't be until the music industry gets to the table. We show them our value of what it is when one of our artists performs and sell out Phillips Arena, sell out all the hotels, have their customers go shop at all these malls, go eat at the restaurants and spend all this money in the city, then we'll be able to get something. But no, they're not really worried about us.